following podcast is rated G for gammon. Please be aware it may contain some coarse language and is not suitable for children or gammon audiences.
Here we go. Ready? All right.
Get ready
Let's light it up. Light it up.
to light it up.
Let's light up your floor. Are we excited?
Tonight,
Strategy.
the world's biggest battle of minds.
You do know it is your job to destroy each other, head to head, in a sudden death duel.
Begins.
It's going to be fun. Let's duel. Name the game.
Basketball.
Name the profession. Passional. Name the method of transport.
Pass.
81 Aussies going head to head.
Play along at home. Find out who's the smartest in your family.
The TV event of the year. The floor. Game.
Brother, game on.
Game on, all right.
I tell
What's
you what,
going on?
that just hyped me up even more, I will
Yeah.
say. Look, obviously, if you haven't seen The Floor by now, welcome to Them Yarns, by the way, but if you haven't seen The Floor on Channel 9, it is the biggest rating show, I think, at the moment.
Ooh.
Yep, a couple of 2 million something views every
Wow.
night. Yours truly was on it.
Yeah,
you watch
repping
it,
the
first
red,
of
the
all?
red, black, and yellow?
I did. Did you watch it? Are you into it?
Yeah, we were watching it.
Okay. Are you still watching it? That's the question.
No,
come
we only
on.
we only watched it for 3 episodes, I think.
Is that because I was on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Everyone's done this, and I'm really disappointed in all my family and friends because I want them to get behind the show. And after I got eliminated, surprise, surprise, everyone stopped watching. That's not fair.
I think you're just our favourite, and that's why we were watching it. And then they killed you off, and then we're like, well, you know what?
They
No.
didn't kill me off. Come on, it's not the Hunger Games. Wake up to Look,
Trying to make it dramatic for the listeners.
seriously. So yeah, game show of the year. The Floor, 81 contestants, 81 categories of expertise.
I didn't realise there's 81.
81.
That's a lot of people.
Brother, and it's on a full set. So I thought, finally I'm able to talk about it because I've not been able to speak about being on the show, obviously, while it's been going. But now it's almost at the end. The grand final is next week. So I'm pumped. I obviously can't say who's won. I can't talk about anything, but I can share with you that it was honestly one of the greatest experiences, one of the freakiest experiences I've ever had.
Yeah. So I do remember you going now after I saw it. I was like, that's where she disappeared to. Because,
Yep.
I see your stories every day, and all of a sudden I was like,
What's she doing in Amsterdam?
what is happening here? She didn't say nothing to me about no trip. She didn't get permission to leave the country.
See how
What's
she
going on?
goes. I know. I kind of sprung it on everyone. Now, everyone says, how did I get on it? Everyone's like, how did you get on that? I just applied. I know. No big revelations here. You look on the website for things and yeah.
They weren't CJ Vines fans.
No, they weren't CJ's Vines fans. But yeah, once you're in their kind of system of game shows, once you've applied for something, you've gotten through a few rounds, which I have in the past with another show that I was on. The word gets around, so it's a small world.
Yeah. All right. They're like, she's good for TV. She makes you laugh.
She's an idiot. Let's get her on.
She gets controversial. She'll get the views.
Something like that. But I applied. I applied last year and then got the call up. And it's funny because everyone is freaked out that it was actually filmed in Amsterdam. So
Yes.
The reason why that is because there's a fully set up floor over there, the studio. It's all what you see on TV with the the lighting up. I've had a lot of people asking questions like, "Oh, does it light up when you're there?" It lights up.
Everything works
Everything.
the way that. So everything that we see on TV, that's what was happening.
Yep.
The pictures on the big screen, all that sort of stuff.
Yep. We watch it as we're playing it, so we're literally filming as we're playing. So you only get the one chance So, yeah, look,
okay.
for those that don't know what the floor is, I'll explain. There's 81 contestants, 81 expertise categories. So mine was hit songs. So that was my category. There's anything on there from the periodic table to spices. You've got car logos down to 80s, I think, cartoons or something. There's categories all across the floor. So it's really anybody's game. So you could be, I think there was a young fella on there, he had like a huge IQ, two twins on there that are like professional quiz masters that they've been on other things.
That was freaky.
Yeah, freaky mob, man. You know, mathematicians to school teachers. And then you got doogies like me who just like can retain information about entertainment and silly things. But it's a picture-based trivia, so there's pictures that flash up on the screen and you've just got to say what they are as soon as you see the picture. So I guess at the end of the day, you could be the smartest person, but if you don't know who the Kardashians are, then you could get tripped up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was like I watched a few episodes and there was some topics I was like, I got this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And then I was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then like, you know, like if I was on the show,
Yeah.
I would have been din squeezing. I think would have been harder. But like we were sitting at home, like me and the kids sitting at home, like
Screaming
la la
at the
la. Yeah, no, we got this. Oh, I'll do this subject. I'll do this subject, and then I'll be like, oh,
Wait a minute.
just one in the middle would just be always really random.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh yeah, no, that. Just get tripped up, be like, pass.
And there's a couple of twists to it too, you know, like there's a thing called the randomizer that lights up a random square and then that's where the game goes and plays. I've been randomized, so I got randomized on my category, which meant I couldn't play my category of hit songs.
Yes.
I had to play one of my neighbors, had to challenge one of my neighbors in their own expert category. So it was hard because I was down the back. So those who've seen it, I was down the back on the side. So I only had 3 categories as
Blacks
opposed
to the back and
I know, right?
3 categories to choose from.
3 categories, and they were hard. They were plants, gold medalists, and comedians. So you know, I chose comedians.
Yeah, you chose the only one that like. There's no way I'm doing plants. I guess you know, if somebody chose plants, like come on, and then gold medals. Any gold medal from when?
That's
like,
exactly right.
They were like in 1924 Olympics. What? Like what, bro? Like
and because
it's black and white TV.
That's right. And because it's the Australian version of the floor, you don't know if it's going to be more tailored to Australian gold medalists or if they're going to open it up, obviously, to everyone. And the same with music, the same with every category. And every category has a slight Australian feel to it and has Australian, you know, topics within it, subjects within it. But otherwise, it's just open. So how do you study for something like hit songs? What do you mean? Which era? You either know it or you don't. You know what I mean? But I didn't get to play my category and I was spewing. But I did go comedians. I flunked out to a comedian. So I'm not too...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was, he was locked in.
He was
like,
locked in.
Yeah.
And
even the one you got, even when you got caught up on, I was like, and I was like, no, okay, now I know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things with the floor because you're looking at the photo, right? You see the photo on the screen and you're playing. So that the cameras are rolling. There's about 60 million cameras on that studio floor. And that's why it's filmed over in Amsterdam because it's all rigged up. It's all sorted. They've got, you know, the whole crew. Yeah. It's a massive set.
Wait a minute. So one question.
Yeah.
It's all rigged up, but where's the crowd come from?
The crowd,
like the audience, there's live audience.
They were from obviously Amsterdam or Denmark, like around that area. So they're locals. So they come in, and it's one of those. It's a big studio, so there's lots of different shows that get filmed there. So people just come in
and be like, I want to be the audience for this.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Because that's what I was like when you said there's an Amsterdam, I'm like, I know they speak some English, but like surely they can't. Like the crowd was packed.
Yeah, packed, and they loved it. They were actually really lovely. A lot of them, we weren't, I was pretty close to them at the back. So during the breaks or in between filming, if we messed something up, we got to retake. They'd go, "Oh, you're our favorite," or "He's our favorite. We like this." We'd say hello to the crowd. So that was cool. But it's a lot of pressure because you got a live studio audience. A million TV cameras on you. You've got the host on one side, a million lights. You've got your screen and behind your opponent, so you're looking at that screen, and then your opponent's looking behind your shoulder, and then there's a big screen in the middle that everyone on the floor is looking up at and also playing. So you've got all these people, basically like 80 people staring at you. It was hectic, but your brain doesn't work. Your brain's working, but it's not corresponding with the mouth, and vice versa. So you know who you're looking at, but you under all that pressure, you're like, nah, I've got nothing.
Yeah.
And once you pass and you lose those couple of seconds, oh brother, it's stress town.
I was about to say, as soon as you passed, you're just like,
yeah,
like, oh,
you could
no.
see my face, right? I was like, oh, mate. And I got some hard ones. I got some older comedians in there for mine, but the lad who I lost to is a phenomenal fella. He knows his comedians. He's been studying so much. We were both just so nervous, but we got through it. But to make it even worse, I think I was standing for a little bit of background behind the scenes. That earlier that week, after episode 1, my shoe broke. So,
don't.
Yep. So with the floor, we had to stand there for each day for filming. We had to wear the same outfit because it's a game that gets continually played for
They
weeks.
have to pretend like it's that you're just sitting there for the whole time.
Well,
like it's
not
like you're
just that, as when people are getting out, you want to still know who's in, and with that many players, you've got to see that you recognize the outfits first or the faces. So if you were to change your outfit every day, you'd start losing which players are which.
Yeah, especially you had like 7 blonde people,
exactly,
like 7 blonde women. If they're all changing outfits every day, you're like,
yes,
lost them.
And to the point that when you're on the floor, you have to wear certain things. Like, they moved people around because red can't stand next to red or blue can't stand next to blue. These are all the things behind big sets like that people don't even think. And a lot of people on TV are like, why the hell are they wearing that? Like when you were watching it, like, why would she wear that? Why would he wear that? It's because you have to stand out. So we all had options of what we could wear. I wore the Aboriginal flag T-shirt, of course, represent.
Of course.
Also was a bit cheeky on the floor, if I can say that.
That was totally. And that caused a little bit of a social media stir.
Apparently. I tried not to read the comments, but apparently I was being racist when I said I'm here to take my land back.
Yes.
That's a little play on words, because when we first started playing and people started getting their square, so when you win your category or you beat somebody in their category, you take over their square, hence you get more space on the floor. So whoever has more space on the floor in the end wins the entire game, and you win $200,000. But each night you can win 10 grand, whoever's got the most floor that night. So after each round, and not after each round, but after each episode, should I say. And a few people started collecting, their land, and were calling it Isaac-topia. Shout out Isaac. Yeah. I think Janae even had a little, one of the contestants down the front, she said, got my parcel of land over here, and a few other people, were just playing up there.
It was a running joke.
It's their territory, right? So it was a running joke on the floor. So when Roger came to me, I said, I can see everyone setting up their colonies, standard Australia, but I'm here to take my land back, and a bit of a play. So it was cool. Actually, everyone on the floor was just like,
it was genuine laughter. Like people were like, oh, that's really
good.
It was really cool.
Majority of the crew liked it. Well, I don't know actually, because I was so under pressure. Maybe people didn't like it on the floor, but
they put it on there. They chose to put it on. So.
Well, everyone, as in contestants, came up after, I was mad, that was so funny, or rah, rah. Like we all were really encouraging of each other. That's what was good. We didn't get to know each other a whole lot because there's so many people, and the floor, sometimes you can't even see who's down the other side of the floor because they're so far away. Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it looked humongous.
It was huge.
It wasn't like a little gammon, like 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter square.
No.
It was proper lit up, and it was good.
And it was hard. I liked it. It was hard work, brother, standing in that square for hours of filming in one spot. It's no breaks, no nothing. It was pretty tough. I was praying to get out early because I'm just pure lazy. So
I'm like, about to say, them knees would be like,
I don't need $200,000.
No,
I just need a bed. That's fine. I'll take that.
I got a good bed back at the hotel. Can I just
know,
go back
right?
there, please?
Oh man, but it was wild. I loved it. I think I made it through to episode 4. Grand finals on this week, and I'm so excited for everyone to watch it. I hope everyone can watch the finale and get behind the winner. There's some amazing people on that show, some such smart people. Blew me away. Some of the topics on there, I was like, man, I was never going to win this show. Like math.
No.
Did you see the mathematics? There's a mathematics primary. Oh, that was just unreal. So,
And real specific too. Like, what did one of the twins choose? Like cities that something.
yeah,
I was like, what? Like how?
Yeah.
How do you, or country? You know, there's like, I'm like, bruh, I don't know one.
I know. And you think you know, right? You think you know, and then people are so quick. Like you're at home watching it on TV, and I'm watching it with the rest of Australia now because once I got out, I didn't get to see anybody else. You have to stay away from the studio so you're not in the way, I guess. So I'm watching it like everybody else, but people are so fast. So you think you're like in, and then just screaming at the TV. And it's actually been one of those shows, I think, for Australia where everyone is now watching it with, like you said, with your kids, like a family show. Like everyone's sitting in front of it for the first time and just watching this game show together. Hasn't happened in years.
Yeah, that's right.
I loved it though. Great experience.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
stressful as hell. I don't know if I could do it again. It's given me grace. I said that though. I lied because I said that last time. I went on Millionaire Hot Seat a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
I did well on that. Can you remember?
Uncle Eddie was your friend?
Uncle Eddie, actually, Eddie Maguire loved me, which was really.
I wasn't being sarcastic. Uncle Eddie loved you.
He really did. And the amount of crap that I got because Eddie Maguire was like liking me and actually bantering with me on Millionaire Hot Seat. Again, I just applied for that. And can I tell you when I applied for Millionaire Hot Seat? It's finished up last year. I was sad to see it go, but I used to watch it for years on TV every afternoon before I cook, all right? And I'd watch it while I'm cooking, should I say. And I would always say, oh, I could go on this show. I should go on this show, you know? You do those ones. And then I got the courage to like apply one day. And sure enough, yep, you're like, let's do a thing. So I had to do the audition. You know, you have to do the application first and the audition. And then I think they do another audition. And then, they said, you're good to come down. And then they paid for your flights and accommodation. It was in Melbourne. It was mad. And the night before, though, I remember going, oh, I can't do this. Nope. Because I kept having these bad like thoughts of, I'm going to look like, what if a math question comes on? Because I get the math sweats. I'm not the math guy. I'm not. I'm the drawer of the family. Okay, I'm the weaver.
You're the artist. You're
the
the creator.
Me and math, I know how to count money up, don't know how to do it down. So, I was just stressing out of like, I'm going to look like an idiot. Like, and I remember I almost pulled out. I almost didn't go to the studio. But I'm really glad I did. It was one of those things you just push yourself out of your comfort zone. And I actually won the fastest finger first, which I've never lived down. See, there it is.
Fastest fingers. You sure you're straight or which way?
Choo-cheese. So just to clarify, at the start of Millionaire Hot Seat, there were 15 questions in the first, I think it was the first 5-10 minutes of the show. And it was all 6 contestants, and you have to answer 15 questions, whoever's the fastest, and whoever gets the most right is the winner of the fastest finger first.
Fastest fingers.
And when I tell you, Eddie said the fastest finger first is Carly, I almost died, brother, because I'm sitting on the stage with I think there was a teacher, there was like a chemist, like there was all of these like smart people, and then there's my dogginess. To be fair, I fluked half of those questions, but I won $1,000. Yeah. Won 1,000, but I end up coming runner up, and I end up having to give that $1,000 back to Eddie as a lifeline on a question that I didn't know. But yeah, it was deadly, awesome experience, and I always said, no, I'm never doing that again, and then I did the floor. So what do you think I should go on next? What's my next adventure?
The next adventure. What's that travel show?
Travel Guides.
Travel Guides.
Would love to go on Travel Guides.
I reckon you'd be good on Travel Guides because this is not like we've spoken about Amazing Race before, you and I, but you don't like walking. So like, I'm not carrying your bag and my bag up a mountain.
Come on,
And then
brah. Take
have
it
you
for the
walk
team.
behind me. Like my Jordans are getting dirty. I'm like, no.
Oh,
it's
that's
just
what I
like
forgot to tell. I forgot to tell the aunt about my shoe on the bloody floor. Thanks for the
No,
reminder.
yeah, you said it broke.
Yeah, well, it fully broke before I went up on the stage. So that
Dad.
was the first ebb, and so I had to wear the same shoes, right? So I had duct tape in there, nail glue, friggin' super glue. I had all types of glue trying to keep the shoe together for the show, and then it kind of stayed together. And then just before I went up on the stage to play my game on the floor, broken shoe, brah. So I was limping up on the stage. Shame. Thank God for editing is all I'll say. But why not? We can't go on the Amazing Race. What? I'll bring the
Because I just
broken
told
shoe.
you. I just told you. I'm not carrying your bag. Like I just thought about
Me
that.
giving orders.
You didn't even want to stand up in the spot.
Come on,
for 8
brah.
hours.
No,
Have you seen-
it's harder than it looks, all right? You stand in one spot for 8
I'll
hours.
stand in one spot for 8 hours.
Go on,
over
then.
carrying 2 bags up a mountain.
All
Have
right.
you-
There's no sitting down.
No, I'll
There's
do
no
it.
breaks, no toilet breaks,
I stand,
no drink
I
breaks.
stand up for this whole podcast. No dramas. Just stand here.
Anyone.
Flexing.
You're not flexing. You got Achilles problems going.
Yes, we can't do Amazing Race. Now that I've seen how you react
Whatever.
to just walking with, what's your friend's name
Cody.
then? And she was Cody. If you can't handle walking fast with her, how are you going to walk? I'm taller than her
You
and I
don't
run.
need to walk that far. You can run. I'm strategic. I'll get us there, okay? I'll push people out the way. I'll steal cabs. I'll do all those things.
I know if we go on Amazing Race, I'll be carrying 2 bags the whole way.
Chooch. How many bags you carrying?
3 bags. My
Chooch.
bag and your bag and then the other bag. I'll be like,
Up
we'll
ya.
get to, we're like, all right, I'm gonna take this one off. You can't. I'm like, no.
I'm carrying too many bags, yeah? Come on. Oh, my God. Amazing Race would be funny, though, seeing you and
It would
I
be
on
fun.
there. It
It
would
would be
be.
fun.
I think we need to put a poll out, I think, on our
It would,
socials.
it would be entertaining, but you need to start doing some deadlifts and some squats
as if.
before we get there. So just so you
Listen.
can carry your bag.
Someone's got to be the mean one, okay? You're too nice. I can do it.
I'll be mean to you if I have to carry your bag. I can tell you that right now.
Imagine Nagus and I just fighting on the Amazing Race. Oh, my God.
Yeah, fuck you.
You-
Get up with the words. Don't swear at me on TV.
Hey, who's swearing at you dumb dog? Could you imagine? Oh, my God. You wait till we get home. I'm going to tell your woman, brah. You're in trouble, brah. Could you imagine?
That's exactly what
Oh,
it'd be. It'll be.
Jesus.
I'll be swearing at the other contestants. Look at this dead dog. I'll be
You'll be there. Can I come on your team, you mob? Because I'm sick, Carly.
carry my bag. This woman always make me carry a bag.
Can I have some help carrying bags, please? No. So the Amazing Race would be pretty awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I did apply for that a couple of years ago, and I'm thinking of reapplying for that at some point. I think
Yeah.
the fact that I don't run or like walk fast or race is the funny part of me being on there.
That's what. Now that I think about it, like you love the strategy and the travel,
That's what I'm
but it's a
saying.
race. Like you got to win the race.
No one said that you
Like
had to run
I get
there.
I get white line fever. I'll be sprinting as fast as I can
Well,
with 2 bags over my head
You can
and one.
sprint. I'll catch a cab there and I'll see you there. I'm very charming. I find my ways. Don't you worry about that. Travel guides though would be deadly. That would be the ultimate for me. Travel guides, just traveling around Australia, getting paid to do that and reviewing things. But they also make you do crazy things on travel guides as well.
Yeah, they do.
I have seen that. So
Yes, they do because they do have like there is a bit of a comedy element
Yes.
element of it. So
yeah, I've seen them rock
And
climb. I'm not going to do
also-
that.
also like good ways. Like, are you going to eat like elephant balls and like
I could eat an elephant's balls. I could do that. Yeah, it depends on how they were cooked. Like if it's sauteed, bit of garlic, I reckon I can give it a go. But if it's just boiled, probably not.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I'd do the eating challenges. I reckon that I'm happy to take that on if you're going to run for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
See?
definitely what be happening. I'm like, I'm not eating that 1,000-year-old egg. That's you, sister.
Yuck, bro! I'll spew up on national TV.
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
the
God.
last year, what was that? The black fella, what's his name? The MMA fighter.
On the big fella.
Yeah, on Amazing.
Yeah, I know
Amazing
who you're
Race.
talking
He
about.
was
Yep.
deadly, and him and his brother had to eat a horse's head.
No.
Yes, a cooked horse's head.
In Italy or somewhere? Were they in Italy?
Good question.
Because
I can't remember.
when I went to Italy the other month, there was horse on the menu.
Mm.
And
Yeah, but this was like roasted. No, I think it was somewhere in Asia, like Mongolia or something. It's like roasted horse head. And so him and his brother, they're big, like they're half
Yeah.
half Korea, half Tongan. And he's like,
Tongan
all right,
mob
brother.
eat horse, don't they?
That's
though?
it. That's what he
It's
says.
their
Like, hey,
thing,
bro,
yeah.
this is our challenge. And they just smashed, and you had to like Pete Hellier and his wife. Yeah, that's exactly how they go. And she's like, oh. And Pete's like, come on, babe, we just got to eat this. And what's his name now? It's going to kill me.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The big fella in
Bam,
Sydney.
Bam.
Bam. That's
Yeah.
it. Bam.
Yeah, Bam
Yep.
and his brother. And if Bam didn't have his brother, they would have lost.
No,
Because
don't.
his brother was doing they were doing like sewing ones, and Bam just sitting there, just hugging up, kissing up, taking photos with all these fans, and his brother's doing all the work. Then
that'd be
he'd come in
us.
like, yeah, exactly what I'm saying. I've learned my lesson now from watching them two go. You be out there charming everybody like, oh, let's take selfies. I'm sitting there trying to eat a horse's head by myself.
In all fairness, I would get us upgraded on the plane, and then you'd be
that's
like, yes, this is what she's
Yeah.
useful for. Exactly. And I always get upgraded at hotels. Like, I've got the gift of the gab when it comes to that stuff, brother. So you're traveling with the right person. But what about Survivor? You'd go on Survivor, wouldn't you? You'd love
I
it.
love Survivor so much. If I ever went on Survivor, I would kill it. I'd be amazing.
Yeah, you would be good at it because you're pretty smart. You'd outsmart them. You'd outplay them. That's their whole little tagline. You're athletic. You do all that. Could you imagine me on Survivor? I'd go on it for the weight loss. If I have to be honest, the weight loss challenge, just to go on, lose some weight, and then get off.
Rice and beans, a little bit of gammon crab or fish or something they can catch.
Yeah. Have you seen the show Alone? Have you ever seen that show?
Yes, and I've really thought
Really? You thought about it?
my toxic trait was I thought I was black enough. Like my toxic trait was like, bro, we're black. Like, we can do this. Like,
There's no way,
we just-
bro.
I just got to live on country. How hard is that?
Can I
And then I thought, you know what? It's winter. I'm a saltwater tropical Murray. We don't do anything below 20 degrees.
Tasmania, New
We're in
Zealand, there's no
Tasmania, New
chance.
Zealand, Alaska. There's bears.
You don't have enough possum skin for that, but you
Bro,
don't have no possum skins
I
where
can't
you come
kill
from.
possum. That's my totem. And so I'm just be sitting there freezing because I can't kill two of the animals. Got to keep me warm. And then I'm just sitting there freezing. Can't make a fire.
Oh, and no one wants to eat eel. We're not eating
No.
eel. Like, no
I
chance.
don't eat eel, bro.
Oh,
Like-
God. I actually love it, but I always go, why would you build your house like that? Like, I know I'm going to do any better. There's no chance. I'd freeze on the first night. I'd be like that, there's mob that went on there, like Good Ways. I know they gave it a red hot go, but you just make me shame because she's left on like the first 24 hours, making us all look bad as black fellas. In saying that, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. I was like, yeah, I'll be deadly. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
would I be? Like,
What would you take on alone? If you know how you can take like 3 things or whatever it is?
yeah. I haven't looked at the list, but it has to be something to help you make fire because I'm cold. Like, I'd need to make a fire straight away. That would be my first thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm too cold to be worrying about anything else. Just get some wood, start a fire,
Yeah.
anything to do that. And then fire, water's distiller, and something to keep me warm. So like a rainproof
Yeah.
thermal thing.
I'd probably take my pedestal fan. Also probably my,
Did you say pedestal fan?
yes,
Oh my
my
goodness.
clack fan. I'd probably take like the aircon if I could. Potentially a toilet of some sort if I could like set that up.
Yep.
Running water. There's just hairbrush. Probably need a hairbrush. Just the essentials while out on a line.
That is why you would not even, they wouldn't even let you on the plane. They were like, send her back, get us another black one. Like, we don't know where we got this one from.
The
She
worst
said she's from the
part.
country, but I don't know which country.
She's telling lies. The worst part about Alone is that I always think I'd be too scared of spirits. I'm out there by myself in the
That's why you need
dark.
fire. That's why you need fire.
Yeah, see, I'm too scared of
Do a
spirits.
fire.
I don't.
Do your acknowledgement. Make sure you get everything out there. Get some, find
Do
out
your
whatever.
acknowledgement.
Yeah.
What about that guy that went on there a couple of years ago, and he was with that Koori girl, and he's Maori, and he did a full acknowledgement, and he was doing the whole thing, and then he went home the next day or the same night because he was homesick for his gummer and his kids.
Yep.
Bruh, that makes me slack when people do that. And they're like, oh, I miss my family. You see them all the time. Just stay out there. There's money there. Look, it's easier said than done. Everyone is, an armchair expert when it comes to these things, including games. It's harder than it looks.
Yeah. Like I said, my toxic trait would be like, you know what? My ancestors, they would
They
come
got me.
down and
Yeah.
they would get me.
My toxic trait would be I'd see, like a mountain cat and I'd be like, Yeah, we're fine. We're cool. No, it's not coming for me. It'll come for the other contestants, not me. Idiot. But yeah, you know how funny is it that TV now for blackfellas is so different for us as not only just viewers, but as now participants of television. Because growing up, we're really like the only kind of reality or what it wasn't reality. What do they call it? Variety. Variety shows were big. Remember, like you had the Hey Hey It's Saturday.
Yep.
But it was good before it turned racist. Do you remember that?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the only sort of reality you had, and I guess it was super produced anyway, but like was travel shows because, you know, they were like walking and doing the talking live, whatever, not live, but, you know, like that was them
the
being
travel,
real.
yeah.
And then, the variety shows where you were, you know.
And that was a little bit of game show. And then you had the footy show as well, kind of this. And we're talking our generation. So the footy show had a couple of games you could win. You know, you could spin the thing. There was Wheel of Fortune. What else was it in the afternoon? The Price is Right. Remember The Price is Right? Come on
Price
down.
Is Right. Yep.
I think that's probably when I started watching TV and seeing The Price is Right, where I was like, I want to go on one of these shows. Because remember how good was it with Larry? And they would run down the steps jump on Larry. I just wanted to jump on Larry. I probably would have knocked him over. But, you know, there's prizes you could win. But those were the things because there weren't really any black ones when I think about it. There's still really no black game shows. There was one on NITV a couple of years ago.
Yeah, other than
Stephen
from
Oliver?
Indigenous TVs, right? Like,
yes,
you might have like a Native American or a Maori or a, you know, NITV one, but there's no black.
There's no black kind of quiz show. There was only one with Stephen Oliver, and I think Elaine Crombie was on there at some point. There was a few different mob that was on there, and actually, I think there's one coming up on NITV that I've seen. Maybe so. It would be cool to see some mainstream do something, but even just watching TV growing up to now being on it, like just even seeing blackfellas on the TV as hosts was a big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or actors or actresses. Yeah. Who did you grow up seeing and going, loved it?
My like the representation I remember is the West Indies cricket team. That was like,
okay. You're talking Brown and General? You're just going to go Brown and General.
Brown and General first because I don't remember anybody but Ernie Dingo.
What was that travel show that Ernie was on? God, what was it called?
Getaway.
Getaway, yeah. God, best show ever.
But see, like I'd heard of Stan Grant, but I didn't know that he was Koori for like ages. But yeah, so I don't remember any other blackfellas on TV other than when the footy players were on the footy show.
Yep.
And that's it. Like I don't remember.
The only other one that I can remember from that, like while we were growing up little, was David Gopel. Like that was probably, you know, the recognizable face. And Yothy Indy was on the TV as in video hits. And Rage.
True.
So that was, but you know who I always remembered my representation to this day in my mind was always Carla Grant. So Carla Grant on SBS, Living Black. It's been going for like 20-something years now. So I grew up watching Carla and also Rachel Mazza. I don't know if you remember her, but she was always on the TV. It was Carla and her. And it was ABC or SBS back then. Yeah. There was no NRTV.
I know there's mob now, but like I didn't know them when I was growing up. Like it was literally, it was literally Ernie Dingo and then other brown people. So like for me it was like Cosby's or, you know, like Will Smith. Or, you know, like some other, like if they had a brown face, I was like, oh yeah, deadly.
Yeah. There just wasn't much for our mob because I think really the only thing was ABC. They were the only ones that really had any sort of diversity because SBS wasn't even on TV then really. No, SBS and SBS started out as like international, you know, like soccer and blah, 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 blah. And then they moved into blackfella space with the show you're talking about. And then obviously then NITV came out of that. But that's all recent stuff. That's not. That's right. NITV's not that long at all. I still remember it getting switched on literally like 15 years ago. So you know, to have it now is so part of like normal life for everyone, just watching black stories, black storytelling, black storytellers. And the only other people that I can remember is can you remember Luke Carroll? Shout out Luke Carroll, the big pest. Luke Carroll was always on the TV and we grew up with him because remember there was a show called Liftoff on ABC.
Liftoff, yep.
It had this hideous little doll that had no face. What's that about?
Horror stuff.
And backpacks that talk to you in the lift, bro. Come on. And it was like, was it from memory? Was it based around like an apartment and all the kids lived in this apartment building and they all had these backpacks that talked, and then there was a doll that this girl carried around, had no face, but it was like alive. When you look back at it now, I was like, was this just Redfern like towers? Like, is that what it's based on? But Luke Carroll, we grew up with him, and now he's on what? He's on Play School.
Play School. He's done a bunch of plays and stuff.
He's done movies. Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that, like my kids, the next generation will probably take for granted is having an ITV and, you know, like even like seeing you on TV in an Aboriginal flag t-shirt.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I don't remember seeing that until
on mainstream television.
TV. You know, like
I can't remember seeing it until myself the other day because it was a bit of a to wear the Aboriginal flag t-shirt on the show. I didn't think that they were gonna accept it. Yeah, I didn't think they would let me do it because I'm like, oh, it's mainstream. It's Channel 9. There's no way that they're going to say yes to it. But I pitched it and they said, yep. And I was like, huh. And then when I said I'm here to take my land back, I was like, they're going to edit that for sure. Nah, kept it in. You know, it's come a long way, the old mainstream media. But it is important, right, to see our mob on TV. We've come such a long way. And it honestly has inspired me growing up because I wanted to do media, you know, watching everyone on TV but on radio, like just hearing voices and mobs' voices and stories. Just when you would get trickles of them, little bits of those stories, unless you were tuned into a radio station, a black radio station, you wouldn't get that constant, you know, black stories and black yarns.
Yeah, exactly.
Because radio was it. That was really where majority of the stories came from. So that inspired me. But what about the likes of Sean Chilbra, who was also in Christine Arnoux Party? Do you remember that film clip? Okay.
Ah, yes. Well, yeah. I do
Why don't you come join my party? Nailed it.
Hey, nailed it. That was actually pretty good. Maybe you should go on The Voice.
I mean, okay. Would you hit the button for me? Nah, Gavin. Look, that's enough. Sean Chilbra was actually in that film clip. If you go back and watch. So, you know, even stuff like that, like Christine Arnoux was a big deal because Rage. It's like, oh, a blackface, television. And another one, Elaine Crombie. I also grew up watching Elaine Crombie and watching the shows she was on, including...
shout out to Elaine Crombie.
Shout out Elaine. She gets a shout out every time. She is the legendary. AMMM radio she was on. Remember that show that was on, I think it was on ABC from memory. She was on Black Comedy obviously happened. Black Comedy,
that was deadly.
Man.
Yeah, even something like Black Comedy, you know, was something that would be like...
That was pretty
unheard
groundbreaking.
of when we were kids. You know, like comedy sketches in general were just white men making sexist jokes and then sometimes racist jokes. Like that was literally the 80s and 90s sketch shows were all like, you know, Paul Hogan, you know, oh, look at that chick with big sussus. Oh, look at this Chinaman, blah, blah, blah. You know, like that was the
black faces, they'd do blackface.
Stuff, you know.
Yeah, and I remember Fast Forward. Fast Forward was pretty big as a TV show in the 90s and I loved it. And then I think ABC had some people that had worked on that show to come over to ABC and work on black comedy. So a lot of black comedy kind of had that influence of Fast Forward and those little skit shows. It really suited our mob black comedy when you look back at it, that those short bursts of like silliness is exactly who we are.
Quick laugh,
dry.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yes, I think it educated the whole nation. Everyone still says, what's this then, slut? Everybody, even white people. Even white people love it. They love it more. People love it. Stephen Oliver, you got to give a shout out to Stephen Oliver.
It combines, white women in particular, it combines their favourite things. A gay man
Yep.
a swear word and a phrase that everybody knows.
I've also seen very straight white men go, "What's this then, slut?" Like they love
Yes,
it. It
they
is
do.
iconic to this day. Yeah.
Whoever wrote that line like deserved.
I reckon
a
it was
raise.
Stephen. I'm going to give shout
Okay.
out. We got to give
Shout out.
Stephen Oliver his flowers
Yeah,
because
Stephen Hawking, 'cause that was deadly.
I've worked with Stephen on a few campaigns, one Take Blaction that we did, and he's just, when it comes to writing comedy and being turning it on for a camera, Stephen's just he's just made for it, man.
He is deadly. Like,
He was born for it.
Yeah.
And he's just so cracked. It's sometimes you don't know if there's a secret camera filming us because he's just funny, and you're like, wait,
So he's
is
like
someone?
that. He's like that. He's on all the time.
Not all the time, but he can be on. Like he's just naturally funny, and he's got that North Queensland humor too that is very different from a lot of Australia. So yeah, he's just cracked. I love it. And when he's with all other Murrays, it just is even more so, so you can hear us
Exactly.
coming. But yeah, gotta love the
What's
old
that?
TV.
What's that black comedy show? So they do the stand-up comedian one.
Oh, you're talking about the All Stars, the comedy All Stars? Yeah.
No, the Deadly Funnies or the Funny Deadlies.
Deadly Funny, the Aboriginal All Stars Deadly Funny show, which I saw the other week here in Brisbane.
No, not the show.
Which
it's a
one are you talking
competition.
about?
There's a competition.
Yeah. So the competition from that, they've actually got a stand-up show now that travels.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
no, I'm talking about just the
Yes.
competition where they do
Yeah.
like just and there's like
Stand-up
just
show.
random every now and again you'll see a YouTube clip from that. And
just
it's
crack
like
ups.
I'll lose my mind. Like
Yeah.
they don't have any. I've only got like one line out of the whole show that's deadly, but that one line is amazing. You know
It's
what I mean?
gold.
Like
Yeah.
I saw one and she was talking. I was like, oh, this is a bit dry. And then she come out with something about flaps. I lost it.
Church.
I was
No.
like, what?
See?
Like it was like she was like, love, like something flat. I'm like,
Oh man.
bruh.
And
Like, come on.
stand up is so hard to do. I
Yes.
have obviously when I used to do CJ's Vines, my online content, and I would do skits and whatever, and people would say, "Oh, can you come and do a show here for us?" And people used to try and book me for gigs, and I'm like, I don't do stand up. Like
No,
stand up is an art form that is not
Yeah.
me. I actually thought about it at some stage, but then I'm like, I can't do it. I got the worst memory. I can't memorize to save my life. So I went and watched that Deadly, the Aboriginal Comedy All Stars that is derived
Yes.
from the Deadly Funny competition. It was Sean
Yeah.
Chilbra, Andy Saunders, who's
Yep.
just cracked up and just
He's deadly.
and you know what I like about Andy too is even like the home improvement shows now have blackfellas. So he was on the block,
Yep.
like
Yeah,
we're
he was
starting
good.
to infiltrate all these reality spaces. I actually thought about Big Brother at some point. I thought about Big Brother.
Actually, I could see you being a Big Brother.
I don't know
you're
about
quiet.
that. Lock me
You're-
in a space though with all them people, bruh.
You'd be overstimulated, but
I'd
that
be
would just be where but that's where the entertainment comes. You'd
I'd either
all,
be
like,
wild
laughing,
or, like,
happy,
yeah.
Then you'd be
Yeah.
if you didn't shut down, you'd come out wild, and they'd be like, "Then the camera's on."
I'd either get into fights with somebody or
Hmm.
I would be annoying everyone because when I'm overtired and overstimulated, I either shut down or I just ramp it up and everyone's going to get it. Like just
Hmm. Yes.
me being stupid. The only thing that stops me from Big Brother is that it's gone downhill. And also,
yeah. It used to be cool.
remember
It
when
used to be.
Gretel was on?
Yeah. It
Gretel
used to.
clean. Bring her back. What if there was a Big Brother black version? How good would that be?
Like for me, it would just be they would get the most polar opposite black fellas. They'd
really
put me
would.
in there. They'd put me in there with like some conservative mouthpiece that's running their mouth on national TV, and they'd be like, "Look,
Oh,
I got some things I
dear.
need to say to you. I'll be overstimulated. I'll be tired. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what?
And then they give you challenges, like, oh, could you imagine?
Black fellas be getting too competitive.
Too
be
competitive.
putting hits on.
And then there'd be like some sort of like rivalry of like Corey's versus Murray's in there.
Yeah. I mean, that's not really a rivalry. Like we
we
would never
win.
lose.
Yeah,
It'd be hard. Yeah,
exactly.
you have to do something. have to do something a bit harder. Like
It'd have to be an actual competition.
Elders, like elders versus young people or something. Because Murray's versus Corey's.
Oh, no.
fun.
Imagine they put elders in there. Oh, no. Far out.
What that one uncle?
Everyone's making tea.
Now, nephew, come here, nephew. You haven't made me tea for 3 days, and I want to know about how we're going to talk about this. Culturally, you need to start listening to me.
No, you've got uncle in the room talking to Big Brother. I'm sick of this place. This mop not making me tea. Big Brother, I need to speak to you about something.
Big brother, we asked for a bigger kettle. He didn't do this.
What are those big things? The big
The big urns.
The big urns. We've asked for an urn. You're giving us a kettle. What do you want us to do?
Yeah. These kids aren't respecting me and my authority.
I asked for the king bed. They gave me the single bed. Oh,
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Oh, man. That would be a classic stitch up. Oh, Black Falls and Big Brother. I'd love to see it. Although I've also thought about it, but then I'm like, the whole getting naked on TV thing? Not for me, doll.
Yeah, I would need some needles and some time to get ready for that show. I mean, I don't mind getting naked, but not in my current body state.
What? You go to the gym like every week, you play basketball. Imagine
I
me
know.
on there. I'm like, nah. It was bad
It'll
enough going
be-
on the floor, man. It's like every angle. Get out of here. Yeah, bro.
Well, that's why I shaved my head. Did I tell you that story?
No.
That's why I shaved my
Oh,
head.
because you saw the back. You saw yourself in a mirror.
Yeah, I was on a TV show, and
Oh, was the
thank you.
TV show that did it?
Yes, and I also wore the Aboriginal flag on that TV show. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
were you the first one? Good on you,
I
mate.
was the first one, so
Good on you.
pioneer,
Righto,
pioneer,
champ.
Thank you, being the champion of the people. But yeah, they kept filming from the back and not the top, and because I'm 6'1" ish, and so not many people can see the top of my head.
Oh,
Unless
wow.
and so I'm like, wow, I look like that all the time from back there.
So the camera was like coming over the top. That's that's rude.
Well, one of them, like what I had a hat on most because we're outside doing a bunch of filming, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a few times they'd be doing like table conversations, so they're just like scanning around the table.
Whoa,
And so you'd see I'm like,
no.
they literally just like look like they zoomed in on the back of my head as I got to somebody talking. I was like, that had to be on purpose. Like, there's no way he had to look at my bald spot
He was out
before
to
he got to
get
her
you.
face.
He was out.
Like
Wow,
Yeah.
that's you know what, I was feeling the same thing because the floor had literally a camera that went from the roof up like through the middle, and it was above, and then there was one on the side. I'm like, my hair's not the thickest, so if I see a bald spot, I'm shaving my head, and I get
I
it.
saw it. I was like, you know what? I don't even like hair that much, and now I'm glad that I do it. Like
Yeah, it's probably way easier,
people that go to Turkey to get their hair done, like congratulations, you just wasted $10,000.
I don't know, but you can pull it off, brother. This is the difference. You pull off a bald head because you've got the beard. Some people can't pull it off. All right, so just give them a break.
True, but
Go get the hair transplant, fellas. If you needed reassurance, do it. Go and do it.
Don't do it. It's a waste of $15,000. Just buy a hat. Buy lots of hats and braces.
Damn, so that's what it did. That's what did it for you. I thought it was going to be like a change room story or something. When you go in the change room and there's those mirrors. It was
on
the
national.
TV.
My bald spot was on national TV. I was like, how come nobody told me that's what it looks like? 'Cause it was. It wasn't very big, but it was like real shiny.
Yeah,
it was like there's no hair in that one particular spot.
God.
And my barber listens to this, and I am still cranky at him because he
didn't
told
tell
me,
you.
he kept telling me my hair was all right. He's like, no, you're right, mate. I was like, we're going to start shaving it soon. He's like, no, we're right. We'll make it
Wow.
work. But because my hair's afro, I can't do a comb over.
Stitch up, brah.
It's a stitch up. So my hair just sits there. So when I had hair, like it's
there's no
semi curly
covering.
because mum's got like a proper island afro.
Yeah.
And so I got that half island afro. So it just sits there. So like when the bald spot, I can't like just brush bits over.
There is no
it just
brushing.
there's no brushing. It's just like a spot.
Bro,
I was
you
like,
know
this
what that
lad's
is?
been-
The reassurance is that you've got a face for radio, not TV.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. I've definitely got a head for radio. I could tell you that much.
Man, that's what I do miss about the radio. Obviously working in radio for so long. And then I made the switch to TV and worked for NITV, and it was, I can tell
Makeup.
you, it's a lot of maintenance. It was a lot on the floor. So, take me back to the radio days. But that's black media, man. I love it.
First time I
Absolutely
wore
love it.
Makeup. Wasn't unhappy with the result.
Oh, you had to wear makeup on that?
Yeah.
They
yeah,
did a bit of
but-
powder, a little bit of
A bit of powder, a little bit of whatever.
for your shine, doll, just to take that shine away. I looked hot on, not as in hot, lovely, hot, sweet on the floor because, it was million degrees over in Amsterdam.
Lights.
100
There's 1,000
lights.
lights. Sitting in a black t-shirt.
God, we were all sweating it out and wearing them same stinking clothes. Oh, it's just the art of television, you know. It's the glamour, really, the glamorous life. But it's deadly that there's representation on TV, and I'm proud to be a part of it on mainstream.
Yes.
So get behind the floor. The grand final, brother. We're going to unpack that next week on them yarns. It's going to be good. We'll see you next week, yeah?
Catch everybody. Yeah, well.